Welcome back to the Past Alive, and thank you all for joining me once again for the return of the monthly series Needle and a Wax Stack. And tonight we are heading back to the year 1992 and ripping open a Series 1 box of Score, something I haven't opened in about a year and a half now. And we are chasing down the elusive Joe DiMaggio. One of his autographs, he signed 2,500 of these back in 92, and 24.95 were seated in the packs. The other five were given out for promotions. Back in 92, boxes of these, or packs of these, I should say, were 55 cents, and Series 1 has 442 cards in it. Really no notable rookies, but I was buying a crap load of these back in 92. I thought they were really, really cool. The design, they kind of ditched the multicolored borders from previous years, which I liked a lot. And the draft pick cards are pretty awesome, too. So we're not going to see any of those in Series 1, but maybe we'll see a DiMaggio autograph. If you look on eBay, it's a 5-card insert set. Even the inserts are very tough to pull, much like the Mantle insert series in 91 or the franchise in Series 2 of 92 Score. But they're about $600 for one of his autographs. Obviously, the higher graded ones sell for a lot more. But in all my years of going to shows and everything else, I don't think I've ever come across one of these autographs. So this series I do usually on the 15th of each month, and I buy cheap boxes like this and go back and try to pack pull these cards that we could only dream of as kids. A box of 92 Score Series 1 will cost you about $30 these days. So it doesn't really break the bank. It's much cheaper than buying Modern Hobby, and you may pull a crazy hit. I've seen in recent months people buy one pack from their LCS, and they're pulling some of these legendary autographs. So maybe tonight will be my night. I appreciate you guys all for being here. Let us get super rowdy and swashbuckle our way through these packs. All freaking 36 of them. For some reason, every time I see this, I think it's Matt Noakes, which as a kid didn't resonate very well with me because I did not like Matt Noakes. Brian Charles says it's tough to get anything done with the Jabs Bros in full swing. Is Eric live also? Albert says, I pulled the Joe DiMaggio auto last year in box. That's freaking sick, man. Paul L says, 92 Score Wax Box or a 1989 Donruss Ken Hill. That is a very tough decision. They're both priced equally. And look who we have to greet us. The very first card, the first pack, Kevin Bass. And shout out to Kevin Bass and the many pants of Bass in the background. And lifted up higher, but the tripod is being lame right now. So, you know it's there. Looks like Luis Rivera is actually punching. I can't make out who that is, but it looks like he just got clocked. It's a pretty sick photo. I'm obsessed with that card. Bruce Ruffin, Pedro Guerrero. Tim Perley was my favorite player back in probably 1989 for about a month or so. But other design of these is pretty cool back then. Like I said, in comparison to 90 Score and 91 Score, I just had enough of that. Tim Leary looking very naughty in that throw. Steve Lyons, Pete Cavilla. But they're pretty cool looking cards for the time, especially because every time I think of 92, I think of 92 Leaf. And I just feel like 92 Leaf is the most bland, like rainy day type set that there is. It depresses me to look at 92 Leaf. They are so boring. So like anything else is a breath of fresh air. That was Dave Gallagher on that Luis Rivera card. Very interesting. Thank you for calling that out. Greg Harris, Mark Guthrie, Rex Hudler, who is very much still alive and breathing. And we have the Hit Club with Malachi, Flanagan, Williamson, and Greg Olson. The big head cards, I feel like as a kid we used to hate these real bad. And Paul L., look what we have next. It's been over a year since we've seen the heart attack card of Jeff Reed. Literally having a coronary on the ground, and they took a photo of it. I remember the first time I recognized this card was probably a year and a half ago, opening a box of these, and I just kept pulling this Jeff Reed and could not believe what a ridiculous photo that was. Literally dying during that shot. There's a Henderson, the Dream Team. I don't know what it was, a correlation between Dream Team and topless players, but there's Lois Einhorn or Mark Eichhorn, whatever you prefer. Dave Henderson's a Big Mac McGuire after this one. Ron Gant and Felix Jose. And 92 Score, like some of the better rookies like Tim Wakefield, Jeff Kent, they ended up being the traded set that year. Paul says, pulled 5 out of 1 box. Did we put Jeff Reed on the Omen watch list then after that? I cannot remember, but we have the trash bag wrappers that are almost guaranteed to catch all the corners as you're pulling that DiMaggio autograph out of a pack. Greg Jeffries starts it off. Scott Geraltz. I actually have the laser eyes of Scott Geraltz in the background, the 86 Donruss. Gotta have that on display in the background. Ruben Sierra, big head card by Bonilla. But there isn't a whole lot in Series 1. Series 2, you at least have Manny Ramirez rookie card. There's Paul Molitor. And you have the potential to pull some franchise cards, which the one is signed by Yastrzemski, Musial, and Mantle. And that commands a hefty price tag. And I was going to open a jumbo box of these. I bought 2 of them a while ago on, I think on Facebook. And I backtracked. And I couldn't decide if I wanted to open it or not. So I was like, I got a regular box sitting here. Might as well open that instead. Bob Tewksbury. I had a guy a few years back, probably in 2019, maybe 2020, that said he PC'd Bob Tewksbury. I wasn't sure if it was a joke or not, but seemed like he was serious enough. That was the only person I've ever encountered in my life that PC'd Bob Tewksbury. Shout out to him if he's still around. Paul's also looking for Scott Bales. Joe loves that card. I forget what that one looks like. What is all the topless cards in this era? Was there a large group of women collectors they were trying to appeal to? Especially the Jose Canseco. You have topless Kirby Puckett the year before, Canseco. Then you got Henderson. There are quite a few of them. There's Ted Power. Tom Lampkin. So these cards are great, just punching in the air. Jeff Blauser, we hated him as kids. There's Dave Gallagher, who was knocked unconscious by Luis Rivera earlier in this rip. Paul Gibson looking dorky as ever. And he's upset about it on the back of that card. George Bell, Scott Erickson. That was definitely a one that would have been top-loaded back in 92. Travis Fryman, probably same thing with him. And Dale Murphy ends that freaking pack. And things are collapsing everywhere around me. I'm sure they were not surprised by that after seeing the conditions of which my toy room is. Trevor Williams in the house says, due to a knee injury, Kevin Bass was a free agent bust for the Giants. And they regressed in 1990 from their 89 World Series appearance. Trevor Williams, what is happening, man? Good to see you in here. And thank you for bestowing that random fact on us. I did not know that. I do have a 1 out of 1.5 Kevin Bass in the background here, which hasn't got too much airtime yet. But it is here along the many pants of Bass, which will be on a shirt very, very soon. On the TPIA website, there's Vaughn Hayes, my arch enemy. Nolan Ryan and No Hit Club is a nice one. Terry Steinbach. These cards are so ridiculous. It's such a bad idea. I think even kids hated them and rejected them. Chris Sabo, of course, is going to be in there. There's a Hawk for Corey, who's not in there. Joe Carter and Vince Coleman. Corey will not be in this stream tonight. He has abandoned us for another man. We got Mike Harkey looking extra pissed on the back of that card. Scott Bell stretching on the outfield wall. I do remember that now you say it. Eckersley, Eddie Murray, Luis Gonzalez second-year card. There's that Terry Steinbach again. Can we put him on the watch list? I feel like we should. Mariano Duncan, Ernie Riles. So there's a Sosa. I used to like that card when I was younger. Steve Farr, Doug Jones, who passed away, I think, what was that, last year? And Mike Harkey. They were a great idea along with Topps Kids. Paul L. will probably have to disagree with you on that one. Got Gary Gaetti to face us on the back of this next pack. Kevin McReynolds, I can definitely make out the scum stash. It's tough, but it's there. Jim Gott. Gene Nelson. I used to like these rookie prospects at the bottom. Those were pretty cool. Kevin Seitzer. Eric Anthony would have been a big name back then. The Griffey. That's a pretty awesome Griffey card, though. I always liked that one. So, and Clemens also. Pretty good pack there. Not too shabby, but we need more Jeff Reed. I have not got my fix of that card yet. And spoke too soon. There's Ken Hill right there. I need to track down that $30 Ken Hill that I have somewhere. The 89 Donruss. I found one. I think there's one sitting next to me, but it's not the one with the TPIA price tag in the background. Willie McGee starts it off for Mikey G if he's in here. Extra nerdy on the back of that card. Willie McGee emoji coming very, very soon, by the way. Rance Mullenix. Felix Fermin. Sweet Lou Whitaker. Alvin Davis. I feel like I was pumped on Alvin Davis for a while. And, of course, Ken Hill. Like he says, the Willie emoji is coming very soon, I promise. It might even be tonight. Who's a PSA 10 homicide victim card? That is the Jeff Reed. The Jeff Reed Coronary PSA 10. Ollie Backman starts it off. Eric Yelding. Dean's Cards would definitely price that one out at probably about $5. I know Dean's Cards had that listed. I think it was a 91 Stadium Club on their website for like, was it $6 or $10, something along those lines. Tommy Green, Wade Boggs, Stan Belinda. I met a guy today in a parking lot. There's Melito Perez for Jonathan H. Albert Bell. He used to like that card as a kid. But there's a guy that called me earlier and said that he had sports cards or baseball cards. I met him in a parking lot today, like 4 o'clock. And I don't know if all the stuff was stolen or what the deal was, but they were like mostly everything was in team bags. But he did have some like 2023 tops, and he had a Michael Harris on card autograph. I looked through everything. It was a lot of junk wax mixed with like 2022 base, and nothing that I really was interested in. A lot of football that I didn't even really bother going through, and Pokemon. But I forget where I was going in that story. The moral of the story was it was something. I lost my train of thought entirely, but. So I looked at a bunch of his cards, and I ended up buying just a Michael Harris autograph, and that was it. So, 45 minutes of my time, but the guy was really nice, though, regardless. That was my story for today. Other than that, nothing else really great happened, but I did get every auction package shipped out. So those all went out this morning. Very fast turnaround time around here for the first time ever. There's a big cat for Corey, who is on a mandate right now, and that's why you will not see him in the chat. And we have Brian Smith in the house. Says, "What's up, Johnny?" Brian, what's happening, man? Good to see you in here. Welcome. Hope all is well with you and your recovery, man. Raphael Belliard. There was somebody I know that collected Raphael Belliard and actually bought them a Belliard autograph on some sort of obscure item I found at the flea market. And I could not figure out who it was now. I tried to find it in a message from a while ago, and I could not find it. But as kids, we did not like Raphael Belliard whatsoever, or Tom Prince. Carter Fisk, always like that card. Pascal Perez, Ozzie Guillen, and Julio Franco is going to end that pack. We got Wally Moon Jr. around the house as Corey left us for another man. That happens, living that lifestyle. Kids, double check your lot lizards. What is going on, Joseph C? And give him hell for it, for not being here with us. Oh, we open up 92 score. I don't know what else anyone else would be doing on a Thursday night. This is the place to be. Joe DiMaggio dunked his donut. He's a dunker. I think this is actually an uncorrected error, but that is a hideous picture on the back of there. Looking a lot like the old Dunkin' Donuts character. I don't know his name, but he was on all the commercials and all the billboards. Kind of looks a little bit like him. Between that and Mario. A Joe Carter big head card. Bob Kipper, John Olerud. I feel like that was a hot one back in the day. Was used to advertise this release. Charlie Hayes, Barry Larkin. And there is Doc Gooden along with Roberto Alomar. Time to make the donuts. Make me want to go get some donuts now. Paul says, might as well tickle your minty, lavish, fancy, hanky-panky, bulbous, bugaboo, swashbuckle ditty vibe. It just keeps getting better and better as the years go on. Next pack, in search of the Maggio autograph. There's Harold Bain starting it off. Mickey Morandini, Brantley. Mark Lemke. There's Phil Plantier, another hot one from back. And then Paul L. is pumped on the Mike Walkton sighting. I'm going to make that a snow globe. I swear it. This is super awkward. Almost looks like an identical card there for a second. Strawberry and Juan Gonzalez. Shaft music plays this. The Walkton globe strolls by. It's better when I don't say anything. It just like casually just pans across the screen. No words. No words are needed. There is nothing holding him up inside of that globe, by the way. It might look like he's in a card there, but that is an illusion. Mike Timlin, Bruce Hurst, Joe Heskis. There's a Bo Jackson, Plunk, and all his hideous glory in the back. Dan Pasqua. There's Bob Walk for Joe's Card Corral, who abandoned me long ago. Marquise Grissom and Randy freaking Tomlin. Second year card, if anyone cared. Used to like Randy Tomlin back in the day. I feel like I met him and might have even got his autograph at Pirate Fest many, many moons ago. We got Dwight Evans coming in hot. Cheeto Martinez. I haven't said that name in probably 30 plus years. There's the Nolan Ryan no-hit club once again. So like I said, you can get a box of these for like 30 bucks. It's a fun rip. If you have kids, you want to get them in a hobby, buy a box of this and have them track down this DiMaggio autograph. Get them hooked. Keep the hobby going forever. There's a crime dog for Corey, who cannot respond to that comment because he abandoned us. Ripping through these pretty fast. These trash bag wrappers are going down like wine. Is there Sandberg? Scott Kuba. Joe Redfield. I don't remember Joe Redfield doing anything for the Pirates. 1991, batting average 111. And that was the last anyone ever saw of him. Wilson Alvarez, Julio Franco, Matt Williams, Kruk, Mike Devereaux, Eric Davis for Damon. There's Rob Deere striking out, and Jay Buhner. Ends that pack. Paul also says we need someone to post a swashbuckle emoji. And we need to get that up here. Need that swashbuckle emoji. And I see Dave Smith with the mullets and the sunglass tan line that is, I've grown very fond of. Drebeck, always like Drebeck. Tom Gordon, Hanky on his turtleneck on the back. Norm Charlton, a.k.a. Van Snyder. Smoltz, Blackjack McDowell, Alex Fernandez. I was definitely real pumped on this card back in 92. I feel like it was probably in a screw-down case. And Dave Smith. Mullet flapping in the wind. There is the swashbuckle emoji. It's probably a good thing Corey's not here because he would be disgusted right now with that. Paul L. is pumped. And Billy Ripken is going to greet us on the back of this next pack. Scott Ruskin. There's Kevin Bass once again. At least Score did not flip the cards around every which way. At least. It's that devious Tim Leary. Creepy look on his face. Same exact pack as we started off with. Avon Calderon and a very dirty Billy Ripken to go along with his potty mouth. We got 4, 8, 12, and 17 packs left. Much more than I realized. Corey's swashbuckling on his mandate. Jeff Robinson is Mike Jackson, Carlos Rodriguez, Otis Nixon, the speedster, Cecil Fielder. Tat Padler shows up. We can all relax now. Milt Kyler and Tom Bernansky. That was kind of a pretty crap pack. I've been kind of bummed on that back in 92. There was no Delano DeShields or Marquise Grissom in there. Todd Van Poppel, which is probably what I would have been pulling for. Scott Scudder, not the short prints. Tom Hankey, Dorky Bighead. There's Alfredo Griffin. Always so high in every photo. Jeff Robinson, Donnie Baseball shows up. Always like that card too. Prancing around the infield. And there's Paul O'Neill for Mikey G. I'm sure Mikey G already has many of that card. Brian Charles is centering. It's consistent on these. It definitely is. They're good looking cards. I definitely like the design a lot. Unfortunately, not a lot of big names in this set, but I do like the design. And it's much better than 90, 91, and then even 93. 93 was very generic with the white borders, like all white basically. Charlie Huff. Look at all those freaking years. Older than time itself. Dave Justice, there's a lot of the Shields. I manifested that one. And Dickie Thon covering his crotch. And that pack. Ripping onwards. Only one Jeff Reed. There's Alvaro Espinoza to greet us. And Kevin McReynolds starting it off. Brian, is that Brian L. Hunter or Brian R. Hunter? I think that's Brian L. Hunter. Pat Rice, Ruben Sierra, Big Head. Paul L. posting a link to Fight Struggle SF. The guy I met today in the parking lot reminded me a lot of Fight Struggle. The moral of the story, when I was rambling on earlier, that's what I was talking about, and I talked about meeting that guy. He was like, "You ever hear the app collects?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that app is crap. It's just complete garbage." I think it is personally because I think all the prices are just are way off. But he had a Henderson 91 Stadium Club, and he's like, "Yeah, see this car right here is worth $375." I'm like, "Hold on, that is not worth that much. You got to go on eBay, go on sold listings." And I showed him how to do that, and showed him that one of that car just sold on November 14th for, I think it was 89 cents, free shipping. He's like, "Man, that's effing messed up." Like I told you, man, that app is it's really not trustworthy. Maybe in some senses it is, but I remember messing around with that with like hockey cards or football cards back in the store days, and I'm like, this It's not anywhere close to being right. But yeah, he was kind of bummed learning that that was not a $375 card. It was worth 89 cents shipped. Sold listing with several bids. Don't forget the money laundering. You can always tell, like the money laundering, like the cards, they always have one bid on them. And it's like, yep, that's definitely money laundering. There's a lot of it on there too. It's like every day when I look at sold listings, no matter what it is, I'm like, yep, that's probably money laundering. It's running rampant in the hobby. Brian Smith says, shame on you, John. I was doing a good deed. I did a good deed today. I didn't want him to be embarrassed trying to sell that card to another local LCS, as we call them around here, for $400. Paul says, how about the dude who thought the one Henderson was worth 17 grand? That's right. The Henderson 91 upper deck. I think it was the Henderson. Was it the Henderson Lou Brock, I believe? Henderson has a few cards on 91 upper deck, but he came to my store and claimed that it was worth $17,000. As soon as he said that, I'm like, yeah, is that so? There's Jose Leaned. My 8-year-old self is freaking out right now that Jose Leaned. That card is one of a kind. I don't even know if it was, I don't think it was a graded or anything like that, the one that he said he had. So it's just a raw Henderson from 91 per deck that was worth 17 grand. So maybe he found out from the Collects app. Who knows? How's the money laundering if they need to pay via a bank account, money already in the system? Yeah, they got a whole process behind it. It's basically just cleaning your money. Greg Swindell, Jefferson, but it's been apparent for like quite a few years now, and I noticed it originally when it was the Jose Uribe craze was starting out. That was, I'm sure it was probably happening before then too, but the Alex Madrid, all of those. Wally Moon says, I remember the Henderson guy in the store. Yeah, I think Wally Moon was in there for that. I think he wanted to steal your autos on the counter. Yeah, that was, I bought a collection, I think, that day. And there were definitely autos laying around, and like some pretty decent ones. I think there were mantles that were on the counter and stuff like that too. And yeah, that guy was lurking hard, real hard. I think he very well might have been a star player for the New York Mets. Brandon Williams, not a rookie card. His rookies were in 1990. Pat Combs, Will Clark, and Steve Bedrosian. Paul's never even heard of Collects, but it sounds pathetic. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty crappy app. Like I said, I tried to use it to, because what it's supposed to do, it's supposed to pull eBay averages and give you an average on what your card is worth. And I thought it sucked whenever I used it. JC says 1990 Donruss error cards. Yeah, the Griffey decimal point after ink. People really capitalized on those over the years. Wildness. Larry Walker, Dave Magadan. There's Juan Guzman. That was definitely a hot card back in 92. There's no doubt about that. Ken Griffey Jr. Big Head card shows up. Paul F says Will of Thrill, as Corey calls him. He definitely does. Where is Gilberto Reyes? Or Eric would draw pictures of Gilberto Reyes, and he always looked like a freaking monster. Danny Glad, mullet flapping in the wind. Mullet over border, error card. Dave Winfield and Dwayne Ward ends that pack. We are ripping right through these, unfortunately. That means our time will be cut short. I think I missed something a while back, and I apologize if I did. I was rambling on about nothing. And did I miss something? Maybe I didn't. No, I didn't. Well, I apologize for wasting everyone's time then. Paul L. now singing 12 Inches of Snow, Informer. Yes, I've tried to find different apps. Like, I've got a bunch of Magic cards and stuff like that sitting around, and Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know anything about that stuff. But I was hoping to find an app where it was kind of the same thing, but it doesn't seem like there are any that are actually trustworthy. It seems like they're all way off. So now you have apps that are creating monsters that are going around with bags of junk wax commons from the 90s. They're demanding crazy prices for them because they saw it on an app. So that you have to try to explain to them that that's not the case, and then they look at you like you're lying. Jeff Reed, Heart Attack card shows up again. We have 2 on the count. So Jeff Reed, you get that slabbed. And Big Mac. Jeff May, what's happening, man? Trevor says Vanilla Ice should have an Informer remix about eBay money laundering. I second that. Dave Anderson, Lonnie Smith ducking, Pagliarulo. Scott Erickson, 92 score Series 1. It's definitely kind of a boring release, though. I mean, there's definitely some bigger names like Griffey, Tony Baseball, McGuire, but they need to put more inserts in these packs. The only insert you could possibly pull is the DiMaggio. Series 1. Unless you buy like those blister packs that sometimes they have the hot rookies in them. Those are pretty cool. A Marver Skell. Roberto Kelly. Spanky LaValliere. Jeff Reardon and Blackjack McDowell. Can you give CPR to Reed? Pee-wee smoking with the neighbors. Pee-wee is actually chilling, and you guys will be very excited to know that I received a box today from Nick West. Nick West, if you're in here, shout out to you. He sent me a box, and I was going to wait till Monday to open it. I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing that. Who wants to wait? So I just slashed into the top of it and read his note, and Nick West sent me something very, very Pee-wee related that everyone is going to be obsessed with. I'm obsessed with it. It goes along with him, and he's excited about it. So I will unveil that maybe next Monday if I have enough mail to open. We'll show that off, or I'll just randomly throw it out there in a live stream here pretty soon. But Nick West hooked it up, and I think people are going to be freaking pumped on it, to say the least. It's going to be sick. Joe Redfield again, Wilson Alvarez, Julio Franco Huff, Matt Williams, Dave Justice, same exact collation. Paul L, I don't want to say he did, but I'm not going to deny it either. So you can make your own conclusion about what Nick West sent. But Nick West found something at a garage sale, and he sent it to Forever Be with Pee-wee. I didn't expect that in my Twilight Zone episode. You might as well be. You might as well be. Pascal Perez shows up once again. No sign of any DiMaggio. There's Greg Maddox, first time seeing that. But do we really expect to see a DiMaggio? I'm a glutton for punishment, and I'm so used to being let down by these boxes, but that won't let that stop me. Because one of these days, it will pay off, and I will be able to pack pull one of these rare cards once and for all. I think the rarest card I ever pulled in my life is the Henderson 91 Elite. Maybe not so much with Modern. I don't know. But those Elites are so tough to pull. As far as this era of time, Henderson Elite, the biggest one I ever pulled, and I didn't even get to keep it because it was a break. Curtis Wilkerson, Derek Bell, but I think, I forget who got it. I think Jason Easterling might have got it, and I think he sent it in and got like an 8 or 9, I think. Or I could be making that entire thing up in my head. Doc, good ends that pack. We got one more left with what looks to be Dwight Smith on the pack top. Puff Daddy can't stop because we won't stop. Paul L says Orlando Mercedes and stuff. We did play that game all the freaking time. And all it was, the whole game was this. You just said what player you were. And then you threw the ball up or you hit it. It was wiffle ball. You're like, all right, I'm going to be Dwight Smith. Throw the ball up to yourself and hit it. It was called Orlando Merced and stuff. So I think back then we wanted to be Orlando Merced all the time, and we're real pumped on him. Mr. Case, it came to Joe D. Auto. Well, hopefully this is going to be it. But we at least got 2 Jeff Reed Heart Attack cards to go along with it. Tim Belcher, is there going to be a Joe D. Auto in here? Shane Mack running for dear life. Dante Bichette, Cal Daniels, Nolan Ryan. Only saw one of those in this box. Terry Pendleton and Chuck Krim screws me out of a Joe D. autograph. Only mentions what's sad is there was a time Orlando Merced was a Pirates' best player. He definitely was. There's no doubt about it. I remember getting Orlando Merced's rookie sensation from 92 Fleer for $4 from an LCS called W&S. And that was like the best day ever. It was sick. But I still have it. I will have to showcase it sometimes. No Joe DiMaggio autograph. Needle and WaxStack is a failure yet again, but it will continue on forevermore. Well, at least we got 2 Jeff Reed coronary cards to go home with. But that's it for this video. I appreciate you guys all being here. Tomorrow night I'll have Jam Packs, the new school box to rip open, and then hopefully I'll have some stuff on the weekend as well. And then Monday I'll be opening the other part of Trash Bag Wax. So I got some videos come up. Stay tuned for those. Have a great rest of your night, guys, and thank you all for watching.